Hi, performers and achievers. Welcome to Performers and Achievers Daily with me, Raj Gavurla. In today's episode, I will talk about preventing injury. How do you prevent injury? You've probably heard a lot of people say you push yourself more. Your mind will tell you to stop and push yourself more, get through it, push more, push yourself more. I push myself more. And sometimes I do. However, here's the difference. First, let me talk to you about some examples when I did push myself more and what happened when I did. I went out. I like to play basketball. This was several years ago. I played competitive basketball. And I decided I was going to shoot, I don't remember the amount, let's just say 500 shots in a row. Right? So I'm not sure how many shots I shot. However, I shot a lot of shots. And I just walked out there. And again, this is a long, long time ago, okay? And I walked out there and I'd been playing some and go to the gym, those kind of things. And this is before I became an expert in elite mental performance mastery, the zone effect framework. And sure enough, I started shooting. And sure enough, took a little while. My shoulders were in pain. And I would go and I had several treatments, everything from acupuncture to K laser treatments. And eventually someone diagnosed me with water, fluid buildup in my shoulders. Now, what did I do? I did what I hear a lot of people tell me to do, that to push yourself more, or they push themselves, or they push or get through it. They push themselves more. Well, here's the key to that is to be able to read your body. It's very important you read your body because by reading your body, you will know when it is beneficial to push yourself more and when it's not beneficial to push yourself more to prevent injury. Here's another example. I was training, doing athleticism, strength and conditioning training, and I was doing vertical jumps, just straight up in the air, vertical jump, high as I can, as quick as I can. And as I was doing them, again, it's fun doing them. It's just fun to try to compete and try to get a little higher each time and do a little better, improve, right? Quicker. And I pushed myself more. And in both instances, when I was shooting the basketball and also when I was doing my vertical jumps, I did read my body and it was signaling me to not push myself more to prevent injury. However, I kept going. And sure enough, what happened is that the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, all of that flowing into my knee caused pain. And I was limping And I went to the chiropractor and received treatments and slowly healing. So, in both instances, and this is the point that is very important for you to keep in mind, is that I did push myself more, and I was proud of myself for doing that. However, what I didn't do is I didn't read my body accurately. And my body was telling me, keep pushing myself more, and an injury will occur. And that is what's happened. So that is something for you to keep in mind. Please keep in mind. It's very important for you to keep in mind. And so, what could I have done to prevent the injury? I probably could have gone out and started with, let's say, 50 shots. Then the next day, or maybe a couple of days later, shoot 65. A day or two later, shoot, or as many days as possible, shoot 80. And you get the pattern. Go up to like 100 a few days later, one or two or three or how many ever days, and progressively build to 500 shots. And that way I'm allowing myself the time that it takes in order for shooting the basketball with that many repetitions to actually achieve my objective of shooting 500 shots in a row without being injured. And what does it do? It creates a habit, which becomes muscle memory. And therefore, since it's in muscle memory, there are less cognitive resources that are needed when I'm shooting the basketball. And the same thing could be said similar to the vertical jumps. Instead of doing, let's say, 4 sets, start off with 1 set. And maybe even start off with 1 set and not try to jump as high. Build up to it. Progressive overload over time. Now, does it take longer? Well, you would think, well, yeah, it takes longer because you didn't do it in one session. You did it over several time period. However, look at the injuries that definitely have kept me out. The basketball injury, it took a long time to get to a place to where I was strengthening and healing my shoulders, and they're still, I wouldn't say 100%, and I'm still working on them. I do some band exercises and some other exercises. So they're not 100%. However, I can shoot baskets. And then the vertical jumps, it's one of those things for whatever reason, for me anyway, that puts a lot of strain on that area of my body, right? Those muscles, tendons, ligaments, all that area flowing into my knee. And for some people, for whatever reason, maybe they built it up or they have some techniques or have trained it, were coached, and they're able to do it. And I'm pretty sure with the approach that I'm outlining here that I'll eventually be able to build it up to where it is something that I can do without being injured. So both of those were mostly physical oriented, right? There was a physical injury that occurred. Now, of course, there are some things that are just pure cognitive. And so I was recently watching a video and talking about cognitive overload. And the concept, just briefly, and I'll put it in the show notes, is that when we're learning, we need both the theory and the practice. The actual learning the theory, a concept behind it, and then the actual practice of actually doing it. Whether you learn theory first and then put the practice, or you just go out there and practice, do the actions, and then learn a little about it. It doesn't really matter. And then there's a ratio of those, okay? And you do it in increments. And as you do it in increments, the idea or the concept is that you're learning one aspect, one or two aspects that you're implementing into becoming more skilled at something. Not that you're not skilled at it, just becoming more skilled, honing, refining, growing your skill. And the challenge is that what people do is they overload their cognitive resources by trying to put more than one or two concepts of learning or actually going out and doing whatever action it is, practicing. And because of that, it becomes more difficult. So it's very similar to the prior two examples that I mentioned. And I've seen and I've heard people talking about, well, you just go out there and you start doing it and use successive approximation and you figure it out. Okay. I really recommend learning about it some as well, which is what I'm calling the theory or the concept behind it. And you can do it in any order. You can first learn a little bit about it, concept, and then go out and actually do it. And to me, that's what makes it fun and enjoyable, intrinsically rewarding, intrinsically fulfilling, intrinsically satisfying. And how successful, how much wins, how many wins, or etc. You know, I don't know. I want to win success. I'm sure everyone does. That part I can't really control as much. However, I have more control on being able to actually execute the skill and being able to progress and evolve and grow my execution of that skill. And I think if you implement those, you'll feel that it's a good approach for you to take. You're welcome to contact me. Let me know what you think about this. Again, it'll take, in some sense, it actually gives you more good options, more tangible, beneficial results than the other way, right? Because one, you know when to push yourself more and when not to. And then two, you know when your cognitive resources are overloaded. And that's something to stay away from. So that's what I have for you today. My bonus for you is to pick one thing that you maybe have approached without using this approach that I'm outlining here. And try it. See what it does for you. Does it benefit you? Does it make it more fun and enjoyable? Is it more intrinsically rewarding, intrinsically fulfilling, intrinsically satisfying? And that's what I have for you today. If you like my podcast, please like it and comment in the comment section. For those of you who are interested in private, personal, professional, confidential services and programs by me, visit my website, rajgavurla.com, and fill out the brief form, and we will contact you as soon as we can. Enjoy your day.